Hi my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. Today I did a pretty easy, quick, bronzy, smoky eye, but specifically for Asian eyes. Now my eyes, I don't know if you can tell, are not necessarily symmetrical. I like to enhance what I already have. So if you want to know how to create this dewy, bronzy, very easy eye enhancing eye look, just keep watching. Alrighty my lovelies, so this is how we're going to start. We're going to first wet our eyeshadow brush and apply our bronzy color on the bottom half of our eyelids. And I wet this brush just to make the color more pigmented, more foil-like, and make it more opaque. And as you can see, I applied a couple layers of this. This color is already very strong, but I wanted it to stand out. And if the color is brighter in the inner corners of the eyes, it makes the eyes look more almond shaped. So as you can see, I just used the eyeshadow brush to swipe back and forth on the bottom half of my eyelid, a little bit above my crease. And I went back and forth on each eye. Now next we're going to get a black eyeshadow, and there's a reason for this. I used the black eyeshadow to draw a small V on the outer corner of each eyelid. Now this also creates more of an almond shape because it brings the attention towards the middle of the face. So I'm darkening the outer corners to kind of narrow out from the outside in. And I'm doing two tiny small V's. And we're going to blend this all out, and the reason why I want you to use a darker eyeshadow or the darkest eyeshadow possible is because once we blend everything else, this color will lighten up just a little bit with all of the blending, and it'll blend seamlessly. And it creates more of an eyeshadow. As you can see, I'm showing you half of my eyelid is darkened up with this black eyeshadow. Next we're going to use a neutral color, and this is going to be our middle shade. And I'm using a yellow tone and a kind of a peachy tone to blend the eyeshadow from the middle of the eyelid and the eyebrow. So I'm using this kind of with a loose blending brush, and I'm blending the medium blending shadow with the rest of the color on the bottom, and just going back and forth until you can't see any lines. Always remember that less is more. You can always apply more. So I started off with a little bit of the eyeshadow, and then I gradually built up a little bit because it's much easier to add more than it is to take off. Next we're going to get a neutral tone eyeshadow, and I mix kind of a yellow tone and a little bit of a whiter tint to the eyeshadow, closer to my skin tone but a little bit lighter. And I used a big fluffy blending brush to blend the first three colors with the rest of the eyeshadow right underneath my eyebrows. And I'm just blending just until you really can't see the lines. That's obviously what blending is meant to do and what different brushes are meant to do, but you always want to make sure that your eyeshadow has no lines. Especially with Asian eyes, it's very common for eyeshadow to show lines because there's not really a crease. So you want to blend everything, and that just opens the eyes even more. Now we're going to line under the eyes with liner, and I'm using pretty much the same color scheme that I used with the rest of my eyes, and I use that underneath with a pencil. Once I line the rest of my eyes, I'm going to use a small eyeliner brush to smudge the rest of the eyeliner underneath to make it a little bit softer. And then I'm just going to kind of flick it upwards, and that creates more of an cat eye look underneath the eyes. You want to make everything look seamless, and now I'm just applying my false eyelashes. And that's the final look, my loves. I hope this was easy. I hope you guys figured out how to follow along with me. Just press play, press pause to go along with me, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Enjoy, my lovelies.